that out the way. Hey, Sister Lori.
Hey, baby.
All right, so we back, y'all. We are back. We are back, and we are doing Bible, continuing our Bible study. We are on a book of Matthew, 15 to 16. What's up, Fred? We didn't do it on Thursday because I had to do something for work, which was the police memorial thing, and that was interesting. My first time actually doing that. All these years doing this, but I was like, that was fine, but I missed doing Bible study with y'all. I'm like, man, I'd rather be doing Bible study than this. But hey, sometimes you gotta do, gotta do stuff for your job. So I don't know about y'all, but I felt kind of old. I was like, oh man, hey Tina. Like, oh man, we get to that. Had a little hope, So, but hey, that's fine. That's fine.
You had
Uh,
withdrawals, huh, Terrell?
I was, I was just thinking about fellowshipping with y'all. That's all, just study. So, but that's okay because you know what? We here now. We are here now. So there we go. We gonna get this rolling. So, like I said, we going to be reading Matthew 15. We're gonna go to Matthew 15, 15 and 16. So for everyone who here first time here, how we do it is we read we go line upon line, verse on verse. What's up, listening? Verse on verse, and we gonna read it verbatim or whatnot. And then we'll stop and chop it up and dissect it. So we tend to do we get two chapters out the way sometimes, but if it's real in depth or whatnot, a lot of meat and potatoes with it. We just chew on that, and sometimes we don't get finished through the whole thing or not. Sometimes we do, but we eventually continue on with that verse. I mean, with that chapter that we'll be reading. So and I read from King James. I have it on my other phone, but I read from the King James, then the NLT. I like doing the NLT because it gives you a more modern, up to date text, so we can understand it. So and then I reference the King James version with it. So I'm looking at it. I'm looking at both of them at the same time. So what we was on last time? 13 and 14? Yeah, we was. Oh, before I start, so I was watching this guy named Taylor. I be watching. Taylor was really good dude. And so he mentioned like how we read in Matthew 13 how Christ was saying he gave the parable of the wheat and the tares. And say he threw the good seed or whatever, it grew. The grain was growing, and then it had weeds that came, in it. And they were like, "Hey, master, man, you put the good seeds right there, and the stuff grew, but they had weeds that grew with it. Do you want us to get rid of the whole thing?" He said, "No, let both of them grow. And at the end, when it's finished, I'll take the good and get rid of the bad. That's what I'll do." And so when he said that, uh, and last week and I said I referenced the process of things, how sometimes notice what Christ said. He threw the seed, it laid water, and it grew. It took some time, right? And then as it is growing or whatnot, hey, the guys who take care of the field and all that, they saw the weeds growing with it, right? So it's going through the process or whatnot. But then Christ said, no, let it grow. Let it complete the process or whatnot. And then at the end, I'll deal with it. And so can God use something that's you've been dealing with? And it's just something for y'all to think about. Because when he said this, I was like, man, that's powerful. He said, hey, can God take something that's inside of you, right? That you've been dealing with. And let's say that's very bad or evil. You know it's not a good thing, right? Can he use it for his good? And I was like, wow, he can. He really can. Because you see in Matthew 13, he said, let it grow together or not. And sometimes we hear people say, man, I've been this way for 25 years, 30, 40 years or whatnot. And then later on at the end, they get rid of it. You see that? Or that bad thing could turn into something good. And you be like, man, how that happen? So it's always a work. It's always a work. He's always working on things. And things don't get better overnight. It's a process. And so when he said that, I bust out laughing. I thought it just was important to say before we started reading uh at 15. So, but yeah, that's all I want to tell y'all. So, but let's go with 15. Let's get it going. Let's get it on it pop. All right. Matthew chapter 15, verse 1. Jesus teaches, and I'm gonna start from the NLT, y'all. Y'all know I go back and forth, switch it or not. Jesus teaches about inner purity. Some Pharisees and teachers, verse 1. Some Pharisees and teachers of the religious law now arrived from Jerusalem to see Jesus. They asked him, why do your disciples disobey our old age tradition? For they ignore our tradition of ceremonial hand washing before they eat. Keyword ceremonial, right? So traditions and things like that. Hmm. Verse 3, Jesus replied, and why do you, by your tradition, violate the direct commands of God? So going on with our tradition, especially us as our people. Oh, we got tradition. A lot of things, a lot of traditions that God probably may not agree with, but we got it or not. That kind of trumps, right? Well, we deem them as important, you know. And I always like to say, man, how do God feel about it? What do God think about it? I ain't gonna lie, they got some stuff that we do, but I love it. Oh my God, battle, love it. But I learned to say, what do God think about it? What do we think about it? You know, because a lot of times people like to have their way of doing things trump what God said. And we're gonna see that with the Pharisees. Like, hey, their way of doing things is more important than what the word of God says. Christ was saying, they're like, hey, we violating, like, man, look, you violating the commandment. No, this not this a commandment that God gave. We rather violate that. Like, why are you violating the commandment? And you worrying about the disciples doing a tradition for a ceremony? Let me continue with verse 4. I know I'll go from 3 so it can flow better. Jesus replied, verse 3, and why do you, by your tradition, violate the direct commandments of God? Verse 4, for instance, God says, honor your father and mother, and anyone who speaks disrespectfully of father or mother must be put to death. Notice what he said. God says that, right? That's what God said. Verse 5, but you say it is all right for people to say to their parents, sorry, I can't help you, for I have vowed to give to God what I will have given to you. Oh my God. Oh my God. I got to read that again. Verse 5. But you say it is all right for people to say to their parents, sorry, I can't help you, for I have vowed to give to God what would have given to you. So back then in that time or whatnot, they had this thing called, I think it's Korban or whatnot. So what it would say is the Pharisees and the Sadducees, all these guys, they made laws, right? Like things that they stood on, where they wouldn't help. They would take the money that they have or whatnot, instead of using that money to help their elderly parents and their family, what they would do is say, no, I'm gonna take this money and give it to God. I can't help you. And Christ saying, didn't I say, hey, honor thy mother and father, take care of them. And you don't want to take care of them because you want to take your money and put it on the side. Talking about you gonna give it to God. No, I didn't say that. I didn't say do that. And they stood on that. So that was their way of not really taking care of their people because they thought by holding on to money saying, hey, this for God, they was doing the right thing. They really thought they was doing the right thing by God. Verse 6. And this way you say they don't need to honor their parents. And so you can cancel the word of God for the sake of your own tradition. Woo. 7. You hypocrites. Isaiah was right when he prophesied about you. For he wrote, these people honor me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me. Remember what we saying, y'all. It's all about heart matter. You gotta look at the heart. You could speak it, say it, but he's looking at the heart. How many times we'll say, you know, that's like, man, we could say we could say so many things or so many different ways and speak to people or whatnot. And like it's okay. And we feel some type of way in our heart. And the funny thing about the heart is eventually it'll show. That's the funny thing. That's what I've learned. It will show or whatnot. People can't always hold it. But you might as well just it do best for you just to be honest and upfront with yourself or with them. So it wouldn't hold you hostage.
Yeah,
And if
but sometimes when you being honest with a person, they not comfortable with your honesty. And just because I hurt your feelings don't mean I did you something wrong.
you're right. That's conviction.
Everybody
That's
can't handle honesty.
you see that with when Christ talking to the disciples, but he told them the truth. But this the thing, what Christ said, and they said the truth shall set you free. You know who said that? Christ said that. It shall set you free. Now in a matter of, and we also see this with Christ. We see that he said, hey, if you got a difference with your brother or whatnot, or you got something going on, hey, go handle that. Go deal with that. Then you come on ahead and then you come to me. That's when he was talking about the people going to the temple and they giving sacrifices and stuff like that. And so he said, hey, deal with that matter with you and your brother have or whatnot. And this ties back to everything that we have been talking about the last month, y'all. Like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
like, hey, deal with that first. Then you come and talk to me. Settle that matter. So when someone don't want to accept the honesty or whatnot, the the truth, one is gonna set them free and it can hurt. It doesn't always feel good. But this also when you hold something in, it doesn't always feel good. You see how it's opposite, but it's parallel? So that's the thing. It's like, hey, settle that matter with them. Settle that matter with them. But also Christ saying this, y'all talking about y'all love me, y'all about me, y'all well, in which they weren't, because they the Pharisees or not. They were more on the Old Testament and the Talmud and their laws and things like that. That's what setting they was on. But they thought they was in which the Old Testament is part of the Bible or not. But they thought they was doing it right. And that's the part with them honoring, trying to honor God with their mouth. But they really not. They hearts in a whole different place. Y'all seen that before. I think we all have seen that before. An example of that. It's like you say one thing, but you're doing different. And you be like, man, I'm not crazy. This person keep on saying, nah, I love you all. Oh, it's not like that. But they showing me different. Fool me once. What's that saying? Fool me once. Shame on you.
Shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Can't put the
Exactly.
blame on you.
Yeah. You can't. You can't. That's the same. That's the same thing with Christ saying. You saying one thing, but your heart is a whole nother place. Your heart is a whole nother place. We've been talking about heart checks, uh, tying into that last month. Like, bro, man, don't be telling me one thing, and then you go on ahead and do something else. And that's why I like to say, man, Christ is, like it's daily. He's seen that we have experienced he has experienced everything we have experienced. But that's why he's the best teacher. A lot of us have seen this or dealt with friends, family, or whoever, coworkers, where they say one thing, or and then they go on ahead and do something else, and that's showing their heart posture. That's what it's showing. Man, it's amazing what the heart is show. Oh my God, it is, man. They what's up, T? It's amazing what the heart will show. It will tell it all. The heart is a teller. It tells. Oh, it rats, and you can't hide it. Some people be like, I just can hold it no more. I just can hold it no more. Yeah, you've been wanting to get it out. Especially when you deal with people on a professional tip. Just be who you are up front. Then that process will go a whole lot easier. I think it'll be easier for you. Verse, oh wait, hold on. Let me see. Verse
Yeah,
8.
nine.
Yeah, verse 8. Oh, yeah, well, I'm gonna start from 8 and go down. Just continue, let it flow, because it's gonna flow. Verse 8. These people honor me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me. They work their worship is a farce. For they teach man-made ideas as commands from God. Verse 9. They worship is a farce, for they teach man-made ideas as a command from God. You heard what he said? Man idea as a command from God. People, and that's saying people will take the word of God and twist it. That's what that is. Hey, Auntie Carol. They'll take the word of God and twist it. That's a prime example. Like some people say, let me give an example of that. Oh, don't question God. That's a great one. I think that's a great one. You're like, what? I'm like, question my father, the creator of all. Well, if
But
you
some
question,
of us grew up being told that.
you you're right.
That's
And
what I
that's
was
a
gonna say. So I grew up being told that.
yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
No, nowhere, no. How many times? So I mean, when you look at that, it's like, what? Don't question God. Hold on, let's look at how many times people question God. Good example, Job. Matter of fact, who was that? Abraham and Lot. But he was saying, hey, like God, hey, I think they and India talking about Sodom and Gomorrah. Like, hey, I think they got 50 good people down there. Would you not go on ahead and get rid of this place if I find 50 people? And look what happened. God said, if you find 50, bro, I'm gonna leave it alone. Then he asked God a question again. He said, if they got 40 people, would you destroy it? He said, they got 40, I'm gonna leave it alone. Then he keep on going. He said, God, if they got 30, he said, I'm gonna leave it alone. Then he don't stop. Look at this. He's 20. He said, I ain't gonna destroy it. 10, I ain't gonna destroy it. You see how many times he's asking God questions and God is not stopping? And then he said, one. He said, I'm not gonna destroy it. And then at that point, he was like, okay, zero. They have none. Now I'm gonna get rid of it. You go if you can't Christ said, bring me, Christ says in the previous book, he says, bring me all your burdens, right? So that you can find rest. How can you bring him your burdens if you don't tell him? Now, granted, he knows if you don't tell him, so he can see your heart posture. When you're speaking, you're releasing things, and you learn that words are spirit. So when that you're speaking things, they actively. It's like it don't make sense. Like why would I not question God? Now, granted, he's omnipotent. He knows everything, but he wants relationship. You can't be in a relationship with someone and don't ask questions. How can we be in a relationship if we don't ask questions? So, so I will hope that that will help. You know, and I remember hearing that growing up. Don't question. Don't question God. And I was like, oh nah, I'm asking questions. How you made this? How this was done? Who did this? Why this? I was that kid. I'm gonna ask questions. I'm curious. So, so yeah, but that's a man-made thing. And that's probably prominent in the black community too. Because I've never heard brothers and sisters from other communities say that. So, but I could be wrong. I'm just saying I never heard it. Verse 10. Then Jesus called to the crowd to come in here. Listen, he said, and try to understand. Notice what he said, listen and try to understand. But then in the King James, he said, hear and understand. Like, okay. So we're like, I'm about to tell you something. I'm about to hit you with something that's going to shock everything I'm going to hit you with another one. You're like, are you ready? And he goes into verse 11. He says, it's not what goes in your mouth that defiles you. You
It's
are
just come
defiled.
out.
Yep. You are defiled by the word that come out of your mouth. Say, it's not what goes inside of you that defiles you, but by the words of your mouth that come out of you. And that goes back to, man, you mean to tell me if I'm eating this and that, I'm defiled. Some people go on ahead and want to follow the Old Testament. Man, we can't eat that, can't eat this and that. I just was talking to someone, Joe was on last week, about the pig, you know. Like, no, because that's going to come out of your system. You have a system on your body and it's going to come out. It's the it's the words that defile. Why? Because the words are spirits. Words are spirits. That's why. And when that happens, when those things come out, you have the power of words to change the atmosphere and change things. And if you do it for the wrong, it's defilement. It's bad. 11. Then I'm gonna go into 12 and 13. Let it flow. It is not what goes into your mouth that defiles you. You are defiled by the words that come out of your mouth. 12. Then the disciples came to him and asked, do you realize? Oh, there you go, Auntie. What'd you say earlier? Look at this. 12. Then the disciples came to him and asked, do you realize you offended the Pharisees by what you said? That's the same thing you were saying earlier, Auntie. People don't like it. They don't like it. It's what 13. Jesus replied, every plant not planted by my heavenly Father will be uprooted. 14. So ignore them. They are blind. They are blind. In which the blind, wait, I'm sorry, y'all. 14. So ignore them. They are blind guides leading the blind. And if one blind person guides another, they will both fall in a ditch. Let them go ahead. You told them. You told them. You gave it to them. When you speaking of a truth, right? And when it's coming from a sincere place, that's also too. Because when we say things, our tone or whatnot, what that matters. And if you notice with Christ, when he's talking or whatnot, he's very mild mannered. He gonna deliver it to you, but he really mild mannered with it. He never really got out of whack until he flipped the table. When he was in the synagogue, he did that. But besides that, he really did. He was real mild mannered. But delivery is key on, I think, all matters or whatnot, because you could be trying to tell, and we probably all have experience that trying to tell someone something, and it could be a truth, and it don't come out right, and you're like, and they don't even see it, or it go over their head, and you're like, damn, I wasn't even trying to do that. I was trying to, say I'm sorry, trying to fix it, but I actually made it worse. And it wasn't that you wasn't saying the truth, it was the delivery of it. How was it presented? And I think that's a lifelong thing that we all could work on. I know I can. I can work on my delivery even better. So, verse 15. Then Peter said to Jesus, explain to us the parable that says people aren't defiled by what they eat. Look at this, y'all. Old Peter, I ain't back at it. Hey, lady. He said, then Peter said to Jesus, explain to us the parable that says people aren't defiled by what they eat. What y'all think he was doing? Y'all think he really wanted to know, or he was being funny? Because I mean, it's plain and simple what Christ said. He like, bro, what we eat not gonna defile you. It's not. So Christ looking like, huh? That's like if y'all act, huh?
Christ was like, I just told you this, and you're gonna ask me this again. So yeah, he was playing with God.
So how many times y'all told somebody something nice and clear, and they looked at you and asked you the same thing? Oh Lord, I do that a lot to Cody. I'm sorry, CC. I do that a lot. And you be like, what? You don't understand what I said? That's why I think it's so funny. I'm like, man, Christ experienced the same thing. Verse 16. Don't you understand yet? Jesus asks. 17. Anything you eat passes through the stomach and then goes into the soul. 18. But the words you speak come from the heart. That's what defiles you. 19. Oh, here you go, y'all. From far from the heart comes evil thoughts, murder, adultery, all sexual immorality, theft, lie, and slander. Notice, he ain't say it come from my mind. You know how people be saying, and I read from King James, verse 19, it says, for out the heart proceeded evil thoughts, murderers, adulterers, fornication, thefts, false witnesses, blasphemy. Notice what it said from out the heart. And Christ says that, how people be like, man, it just was in my mind. It just was in my mind. No, it wasn't. It was in your heart.
Mm-mm.
That's where it was at. That's where it was hitting at. It was in your heart. That's why all the stuff. That's why he always, if y'all ever noticed, that Lord Christ is always hawking at the heart. Hey, heart matter, y'all. Heart matter, heart matter, heart matter. I heard something today. Someone said, the only new thing, say everything is already created, right? We already have our bodies, Earth already is created, X, Y, and Z, right? It's only one thing that's new, that's created, and it's the heart. Notice what Christ said, hey, when you follow me, I'm gonna give you a new heart. I'm turning you a new heart, a new heart. I was like, whoa.
Say, T, I got a question about that.
Go ahead,
So
what you got?
when you say something is in your heart, let's just say I agree with violence. I'm just using an example.
Uh-huh.
And the law of the land has taught me that violence is wrong. When you
Uh-huh.
pray, do you pray that your heart aligns with like a new belief? Because like what influenced your heart to be what it is versus what it should be in the word? Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
yeah, I got you. So it's just saying you going with the idea of you seeing it one way. like from outside of God. You seeing, hey, you're lining up with the way that things go. Okay, I like this way. I feel like I like this way, and this way I'm going at. And then I look at God's word and say, oh no, it's the opposite of that. Like, oh, I shouldn't do that. Oh
Boy,
my
when
gosh.
I tell you that's a prayer of the heart every morning, if that's the case.
Yeah, and because you see, but look at it. You see what this verse, what the heart can do. We seeing what it could do. Be like, man, the heart is something. It's not always your mind is the battlefield, right? That's where you the yay and the nay fighting it. You got the Holy Spirit and the enemy, they fighting right, the thoughts coming. That's why you notice in the Bible say, hey, hold captive your thoughts. So when it didn't say hold captive your heart, it said hold captive your thoughts. So it's like that's a battlefield right there. And then we know from now that's what goes on ahead and we do, right? But you know where it comes from? It comes from the heart. It comes from the heart. Like the heart is, bro. I don't know which one worse, the heart or the tongue. Like, bro, it's bad. Like, bro, it's like, woo, it get busy, y'all. I think we all experience that, man. We, we're like, man, this inside of me. It's like, where's inside of you at? You're like, man, I've been feeling this in me overnight. Whatever the matter may be, good or bad. Not saying always bad. You feel it in your heart. Or people say that I had to get this off my chest. What's in your chest? Man, I feel it right here. I had to let that go.
Man, you spitting, boy.
I mean, think about it. I mean, y'all gonna chime in, y'all, y'all gonna say examples of that. Y'all have experienced that. It's like, hey, and it's like not knowing it's all a heart map, heart posture. That's why we see Christ, he hawking on heart posture. He ain't worrying about nothing physical or nothing. He worrying about the heart. I want that. I want to do heart. That's what I want to do. That's the only thing that's created new, y'all. I don't know if y'all noticed that or that stuck out, but that's the only thing created a new heart. So,
Hmm.
and that's the thing. It's like he said, a new heart. It could be multiple times you get a new heart because it's a process. It goes back to Matthew 13, where the wheat and the tares were growing. It's a process, y'all. It's a process. It doesn't always look pretty. So yeah, man. It can't. And the good thing about it is when you get that revelation, right? And you're like, okay, yeah, I want to line my heart up with what your will is. And you start to see the fruits of it. And you start to see like why it's like, okay, why it makes sense to do this. This the benefit of it. Oh man, this is so much peaceful. I find so much rest in it. And that's the biggest thing. We see Christ talk about that a lot. Is rest, rest, rest. We need rest, y'all. Our lives are already chaotic. This earth is chaotic. And everything that we do. Like we are around it. We are engaged in it every day. Every day. It could be physical chaotic things or not, but spiritually in your mind every day. That's where your unrest going in your head every day, all day long. I couldn't sleep last night. It was all on my mind. That's unrest from a situation that comes from our heart. And me trying to figure it out. Oh, got a little lost right there, y'all. Y'all tell me if I'm doing too much or not. If I'm doing good, y'all let me know now, because y'all kind of quiet tonight. 17. No, I'm sorry, I'm on 8. No, 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 I'm not. 19. Now I'll continue going with it. For wait, what is hold on, y'all right quick. One quick second. Oh, it matters. Okay. All right, cool beans. Verse 19. For from the heart comes evil thoughts, murder, adultery, all sexual immorality, theft, lie, and slander. 20. These are what defile you. Eating with unwashed hands would never defile you. Look how crazy that sound, yo. You mean to tell me if I don't wash my hands, you think that's gonna defile me? I'm dirty because I ain't washed my hands? Man, get off my face.
So, like, you talk like that, don't you eat that food without washing your
Your
hands?
hand.
Don't you go in my pot without washing your
Not,
hands?
not, yeah. I mean, hey, I'm not gonna go in your pot without washing my hands, but you're right. So and it's like that's out of respect, right? But they
Mm-hmm.
say defile. They saying you dirty, you nasty, you just dirty or whatnot. Like, oh my gosh, you just like this disgusting. I'm defiled. Like people like that in that time, they would not be associated with you. What? Come on, man.
Well, I mean, that's the same as a person go in the bathroom, use the bathroom, and come on and don't wash their hand. You don't want to touch their hand.
So you're right. It is. It's like, okay, all right, is dirty, right? Of course you don't,
Yeah.
right? Of course. But that don't mean that, hey, okay, I'm never talking to the person. I'm isolating this person. Because you got to think who these people are. These people are the religious people, the Sadducees and the Pharisees and the scribes, the teachers of the
Mm-hmm.
religious law. They the
Mm-hmm.
ones that saying, hey, thus said the Lord, this how it got to go, this and that, without man-made thoughts. We think God's saying this the way. And they used to clean the temple. They had laws and stuff where they had to clean like the silver and temples and all that, like religiously. And I'm being funny with that part, religiously. And it's like, wait. Like imagine somebody, what is that called when somebody got where they want to go on ahead and just clean up all the time. What is that called? OCD? That's
OCD,
OCD. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Imagine,
germaphobe.
yeah, imagine that time 20. It's like, damn, I can't even enjoy what I am. So they're putting too much emphasis on their man-made thoughts. In which, yes, you want to have things nice and you want to clean it, of course. But don't say, hey, if I don't wash my hand, I'm defiled by God, and we not going to associate with you. That was the issue.
So, man,
Go ahead. Somebody say something? Who
yeah.
says?
So, this is Nadia. I have a question. So, is um is Jesus telling the Pharisees stop worrying about like the traditions that they are so that they uphold so much that it's more of like what's in their heart? Is that what
Exactly.
he's saying here?
Exactly.
Oh, okay, okay.
Exactly. And what they're doing is they're putting that on a pedestal above the commandments of God. Now notice, Christ didn't say they couldn't have that, right? Traditions and stuff that they do, right? That happens. That is created when people mingle. You have associations with people. Stuff is formed and born, right? And ways they do things, X, Y, and Z. He didn't never say you couldn't have that. He's saying that, hey, you're putting your tradition above the commandments that God gave. That's the problem. Why you doing it backwards, bro? Why you not following what God said and then going then after that all others fall in place? If you're gonna have like handshake or whatever you may do. He didn't never say nothing was wrong with that. He's saying that, hey, you putting that above what my father is at. And that's why you get people twisted, when people are locked into things like that, that's where their heart posture start to turn. Because they're not looking at God, they're looking at, let me follow the traditional way of things. And that's why you be like, man, they oh man, you missing it, man. You missing so much with that. 21. Okay, the faith of a Gentile woman. Did Jesus left Galilee and went north to the region of Tyre and Sidon. 22. A Gentile woman lived there, came to him, pleaded, have mercy on me, O Lord, son of David, for my daughter is possessed by a demon that torments her severely. Bro, y'all notice something? That Christ probably dealt with most demons and feeding people more than anything else. All right, see you later. Y'all notice that? Boy, them demons always around. Had them spirit always rocking and rolling, right?
Non-stop, huh?
They need a host. That's why. Because they need a body. They need to be somewhere. That's what they're looking for. They're looking for rest. Remember when he had them in the pig? Same,
Mm-hmm.
same, bro. That's why they always around. Imagine how they're around us right now, trying to look for some, trying to cause and destroy and stuff like that. So, but then again, in the King James version, In 21 it says, then Jesus went thence and departed into the coast of Tyre and Sidon. 22, and behold, a woman of Canaan came out of the same coast and cried unto him, saying, have mercy on me, O Lord, thou son of David, my daughter is grievously vexed with a devil. Keyword vex, right? Y'all see that?
Mm-hmm.
But look what I want to point out something. I said, oh, let me see if anyone know about this. She came out the region Canaan. Y'all know where that's located at in the Bible? Y'all know that the land of Canaan?
I
You
heard
know
of it, but I don't know where it's located at.
you know you so you know what region, since with that region, you know what the people look like? Us.
Really?
Got the same skin color tone as we do.
Hmm.
So I wanted to highlight that. I'm like, oh, Canaanites and all them cats, them and all them. Yeah,
That's our people.
yeah, yeah. So you got the ones who went with Ham them, Ham, Japhet, and Shem. Japhet went north. He went to like in the mountains or whatnot. That's the Caucasian brothers or whatnot. Shem
Yeah.
East, he held it down right there in the Middle East, around that way. That's the line where Christ come from, like well, right there in that region. And Ham, he went south to the land of Canaan.
Mm-hmm.
Darker complected Canaanites and X, Y, and Z. So I just wanted to highlight that for y'all. So that would stick out. Uh 23. Oh yeah, and 22 they say, hey, my daughter is possessed by a demon that torments her severely. 23. But Jesus gave her no reply. Isn't that funny? Look at this, y'all. But Jesus gave her no reply, not even a word. Jesus not talking? When he see a spirit or something come along somebody?
And that's the first time he didn't
Hmm.
reply.
Then his disciples urged him to send away. Tell her to go away. They said she is bothering us with all her begging. So Jesus didn't say nothing. And this lady from the land of Canaan came to him saying, hey, my daughter need help. She got a devil in her. She vexed with a devil. My baby need help. Lord help her. Watch this. Then Jesus said to the woman, I was sent only to help guide lost sheep, the people of Israel. Oh my God.
Hmm.
Oh my God. He telling her, I ain't come for your people. Right? So it's like, whoa. Hold on, wait. How can God in the flesh say, hey, I'm only coming for, I'm not gonna help this person? Christ, are you saying you ain't gonna help her? Because she's not of Israel? And notice he said lost sheep of Israel. That's what it says. So 25. But watch this. But she came and worshiped him, pleading again, Lord, help me. Notice what she did. She started worshiping, right?
Mm-hmm.
But look what Christ, and so this showing that, hey, even I'm gonna point out something for y'all. I hope y'all catch this. 26, Jesus responded. Well, 25, but she came and worshiped him, pleading again, Lord, help me. 26, Jesus responded. It isn't right to take food from the children and throw it to the dog. 27, she replied, that's the truth, Lord, but even the dogs are allowed to eat the scraps that fall beneath their master's table. You know what that lady did? Man, that lady stood on her feet. All right, Elder. She stood on her feet, y'all. Notice that. You notice when we go to God, hey, we asking God for something. 24, she like, hey, Jesus, hey, yeah, you. I need you to help my daughter. I'm asking you something. You go to God and pray. Hey, be asking for something. Rectify this matter. It's tormenting me, whatever it may be. It's tough. It's X, Y, Z. You don't have no response from God. 20, that's 24. You don't have no response. Ah, nah, I can't. Nah, I ain't doing with that. I'm on here for the devil, the people of Israel, the lost people of Israel. I would say Israel. 25. She kept on going, y'all. But she came and worshiped him, pleaded. She kept on going. When she needed something from God, she kept on worshiping. Notice what the word says. She worshiped. She ain't cursing, getting crying. She worshiped. Bam. 26. Now, mind you, how long it's taking. It's still going on in the third verse. It said Jesus responded. It isn't right to take food from the children and throw it to the dog. Right? So Jesus responded, right? God responds to her. He responded. But look what she said. That's true, Lord. But even the dogs are allowed to eat the scraps that fall beneath their master's table. Man, that lady wasn't going on to God shake something.
Mm-hmm.
until he changed it. I'm not going nowhere until this change, Lord. I'm asking you and responding. I'm staying right here. I'm not moving. Why we got a problem with always moving, y'all, when it don't feel good? We gonna bust a quick right about faith,
Mm-hmm.
and it don't
So
feel
you
good.
know, I have well, this is what I do. I don't know about nobody else, but when I'm praying and it just seems like it's taking God a long time to answer it for whatever his reason is, when I go to him, finally, when I'm just realizing that this is just not working, I just go to him and pray and I say, but your word said, and God,
Yeah,
you are God of truth.
yeah,
So you know God ain't gonna lie to you. So
yeah,
once I talk to him like that, it's like, okay, it moves along. It don't
yeah,
still don't come
yeah,
right then and there, but I'll get it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's
Hey,
and
Annie,
that.
in relation to what you just said, I be feeling that way too. And they gave me an analogy a while ago regarding an entree and an appetizer. So you remember back in the day, like when y'all would be in the kitchen cooking, and you'd be like, "Man, I'm hungry. Like, where the food at?" And
Yeah,
he's like, "Well, look,
yeah.
let me give you a little piece of cornbread." And that cornbread would be like fire, right? But
Mm-hmm.
the entree is 11 times more better than that little piece of cornbread. So it's like what you rushing is not what you really about to get. If you
Come
just
on,
hold
T.
on just a
Come on,
little
T.
bit longer,
Endurance
what you
beats
really
all.
Yeah,
want is worth the wait.
yeah.
Bro, when I tell you I feel that way all the time, I be like, bro, why art thou forsake me? Like, man, let me just do $500 and shut up real quick. And then you
Oh
just don't
man.
know, like later on in life, like man, I had a commission for $50,000 for you, but you tripping. So
Yeah,
just chill.
yeah, yeah.
Boy,
Endure,
but when you
endure.
do, boy, but when you do get it, man, you can dance and shout all day long.
And Andy, I'm gonna be
That
real with you, man. I've been apologizing so much because I get out of character sometimes, and I'm like, man,
uh, uh,
T
uh,
said something a couple weeks ago. He was like, God don't play when it comes down to him. I feel that way too. I'm like, man, why you so hard on me sometimes? But then I apologize.
yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah.
You know,
Endurance.
you're not by yourself because sometimes I ask God, why my life got to be so difficult? Why am I the
And
one to
that's
do
the
whoop de
wrong
whoop whoop?
question.
Why? Why? Yeah, but I mean, those questions do come in your
Mm-hmm.
mind. It happens, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
And so you know what? So I'm glad you said that because I was talking to someone earlier about that, right? When
Mm-hmm.
in this parallel into when I'm so happy you said that. And so this is gonna be also the chapter a little bit, but it says someone mentioned, how do I know when it's God testing me? Like in Job, right? Or how
Mm-hmm.
do I know it's a setup from the enemy?
Mm-hmm.
Well, in Job, the devil went for, God protected Job and the enemy went for his neck, went for him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How do I know which is one, right? Because sometimes we'll be like, man, God tested me. Or you feel like, man, when something just unnaturally just these things just happen over and over, like you get pounded in life. You're like, bruh, I knew I didn't. You're like, hey, I've experienced some things. I have my own trials and all that, but this right here just seemed a little bit out unnatural, So how do I decipher which one is what, right? And we say this, man, why is this happening to me? Why is this happening to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Keep that in mind. And so Taylor said he mentioned this. He said he gave the analogy of riding on the freeway. He said, hey, if you're riding on the road, you're going in one direction, right? You're going to your destination. And if you get off on the right exit or the left exit, the which will continue to the road, does it matter? Does it
Yeah.
matter? So
Yeah.
so so why so okay, so why would it matter?
Because if I get off on the right exit, I'm getting to my destination the way I'm supposed to get there. If I get on the wrong exit, that means I'm gonna have to turn around or go out my way and come back into it.
But okay, but what happened? You got back on the road, right?
Yeah.
So if you got back on the road and you still going to your destination, why would it matter? And he linked this. He said, it should oh, okay. Oh, it shouldn't matter. You know why?
Hmm.
Hey
it
guys,
shouldn't.
I'm gonna have to leave right quick. Something happened to my son. I got to go see what's going on because both his friends are calling me.
All right, Q.
Okay,
All right,
be
All
just
right.
text me
safe.
and give me an
God be
update.
with you.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Praying for y'all.
So the thing is this: in the midst of when me going through that storm, right? Don't focus on
Mm-hmm.
who doing it, what's going on. Focus on. Hey, I'm a follow God,
Mm-hmm.
rather if it is coming from the enemy. You know what? I'm gonna take. You know what, God? You know what? What's your word say? I'm gonna say your word. I'm gonna focus on you. Better yet,
Mm-hmm.
you know what? This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take me out of it. Ooh, isn't that something hard to do? To take you
Yeah.
out the take self
Yeah.
out the situation when it's tough.
Oh yeah. It's very hard to take
Because
yourself out the equation.
because it's happening to you. It's happening to you. Like I am affected. This going on with me. I don't like it. This don't feel good. He sees that. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, this happened because it's another level, daughter, son, that we got to get to. The only way you're gonna get to that level is by going through this.
Mm-hmm.
I can't just give you this because you're not gonna get the lesson from this. So whether it's gonna come from me or the enemy gonna be like, you know what? I think I could get her or whatnot, or get her. You stay on this pathway, you still gonna make it to your destination.
You making a
So
It's
really
you
good point.
saying
You
you
know
gonna
which?
make
Go ahead, Andy.
you gonna make it to your destination, but it's a lesson in the situation, right? It's a
exactly.
lesson being learned.
And
Okay.
with spiritual warfare going on every day, all the time, right? You're
Mm-hmm.
gonna have the enemy that try to attack. But then again, God is like, okay, I could take their attack and I could show you. You're gonna grow from this. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then he
And
say everything, and I'm paraphrasing it, works out for the greater good. How many times
Yeah.
you have experienced things? And y'all said y'all tough. Y'all can say it. Y'all can respond. How many times you have experienced things or whatnot, and you look back, you're like, hey, I need to go through that because if I didn't, I wouldn't be where I had to go.
man, you spitting, boy. You
Mm-hmm.
spitting, man. T, you
I
know
had.
what's calmed me down lately, and I'm gonna let you run it after this. I ran across a video, and it was saying how sometimes we question our adversity in life, and I'm telling you, this changed my life forever, and I want to share it with you guys. It was like, while you down here tripping and asking why, God is in heaven actually bragging on you. So he's
Yeah,
like, imagine him being at the table and it's like, hey, go ahead and send that down to Terrell. Like, he bragging on you. He like, no matter what you send my son way, he gonna handle it.
yeah,
He gonna
yeah,
handle it. And it's
yeah,
almost like you picking your pony. Like, imagine, Usain Bolt. You put anybody up to race against him, man, Usain go smoke that boy.
yeah,
Like, you got your faith in his ability to press through. So when we going through trials, believe it or not, we've been selected as a strong faith walker.
yeah,
And it's like, I'm gonna send that trial his way because I'm bragging on him. Because he didn't already
yeah,
show me he believe in me, and I'm gonna get him through this. Man,
yeah,
when I heard that, bro, I sat down. I
yeah.
sat down. It's almost like I get excited when trials come now because I'm like, I got selected again.
There you go. There you go. There you go. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Terrell,
That,
look, this Floyd. So that's only thing keep hitting me is we don't know what's the perfect life. So
mm,
each of our lives, we supposed to deal with what's coming.
yeah,
Only God knows. Nobody has the perfect life. So why would we say, God, why you gotta put me through this? Or why I gotta get through this? We
mm,
don't know what's perfect, but we
mm,
misjudging it as our own life. So
yeah,
that's the only thing keep hitting me these days is like everybody life in way is different and we
mm,
all go be battling different things because he wants us to go through different things individually. It's like me and you talk. Everybody ain't got the same life. We don't wake up the same. We don't get dressed the same. We don't
mhm,
drive the same. We don't look the same. So that's by design.
yeah,
We go think, oh Lord God, why this happening to me? Why this keep happening to me? But it's supposed to
yeah,
because nobody have a perfect life. So we got to go through it to get through it.
yeah.
That's the only thing keep hitting me.
Yeah.
And right, y'all cooking with that. And
That's a good
let me
point, Floyd, because I'm thinking about even when you think and hear other people's trials and tribulations, you sit back and like, okay, well, I don't have it that bad because they going through more than me. So that's a good point that it's definitely for you. You go through those things.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
because they
right
might be
about
sitting
that.
back saying the same thing. Oh man, I bumped my toe today. Oh man, guess what? I got a bad headache today. Which one
Yeah.
is worse?
Yeah.
You know
It's
what I'm saying? The
Mhm.
bum
it's
toe or the worst headache? You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So we all go do different things. I never had a broken bone in my body. I didn't have friends and got hit by cars several times. Which
yeah.
life is better? You know what I'm saying? The broken bones or getting hit by the cars. Like we go through certain stuff, bro. It's crazy how we just sitting here and trying to analyze which life or what our life should be like. We
Yeah.
don't know because we ain't got no book but the Bible, and nobody in the Bible is perfect.
Yeah.
Man, that helped me
So
flow.
what?
Good
So
job,
what are
boy.
we going off of?
And
Good
so
job.
so I'm glad you said that. And I'm about to give an example of that. And so I'm glad, man, that's perfect. That's cooking. And so what we see is, right, we notice that and and the example gonna be Christ. We noticed that with Christ, right? When he was on the cross, right? Because man, Christ said, hey, they hate me, they gonna hate y'all, bro. Y'all walking this way. Look, it's coming. No, that goes back to what you said, Flo. It's coming. You choose him, it's coming. If you be of the world, okay, it may be a little easy. But you walking with me, you gonna get that work. Cool. But also this, we noticed that with Christ, right? When he was on the cross, right? What he did, he prayed. He said, Father, forgive them. At the pivotal point of him going, he got crucified. He going, I mean, he on a cross. He going through all that pain and all that stuff, and he's about to die. Christ said at that point, he said, Father, he remember, 'cause what he said was, he like, man, look, man, that's a lot. And I'm paraphrasing it, y'all. You're like, hey Lord, if you could take this away from me, it's a lot, right? You see how he was looking at that flesh self? You're like, man, that's a lot. It's a lot. I'm telling you, it's a lot. But then he switched it and says, Father, he prayed for the people. He said, forgive them, right? For they know not what they're doing. Then, bam. Then all of a sudden, he going on here and he he passed away, right? He passes away. Secondly, but that's what happened to Christ, right? Now let me go to Job. What happened with Job was he was complaining all that X, Y, and Z, right? Bam, bam, bam. You know what? At that moment, because mind you, all this stuff is happening to Job. Hey, why this happening to me? This is going on with me, right? You know when it changed? When
Hmm.
he prayed for his friend. After that, we see, bam, situation changed. So that's why I said that is the magic key unlocked. When we are going through things or whatever, right? Don't focus on, hey, why? Like he said, no, like he said, we supposed to go through it. Embrace it. Go through it. Man, keep your head focused on Christ. Because when you take it from off of you overnight, he's gonna elevate you. We are everyone in heaven already knows that you're experiencing what you're experiencing right now, right?
Mhm.
Everybody sees this. We see this. Okay, okay. But it's more to on the other side than that. It's like when we go on ahead and we focus on self, we stop. It's like it hinders us. It stops us. It's like, hey, it literally slows down the process. I'm like, oh, dang, we supposed to be going forward. We slowed down. You slowed the
Mhm.
matter down. Job, he prayed. That's when the situation changed, and he got blessed tremendously beyond that.
It's like a while back, like right after my mom passed. I don't know. It was somebody in the neighborhood was like, Yolanda, you're gonna get your blessings. You're gonna get your blessings from heaven, baby. Just keep going. And I looked, I said, thank you. And in my head, I'm saying, can I get a little bit here on earth, Lord Jesus, please? A little bit.
Yeah, yeah, because pain doesn't feel good, Like if we notice, like Christ endured the whole time, you know. It, it he endured the whole time, man. He never said that. And I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna curve back in because I'm going off. I'm going because I thought it was so helpful. Uh, nowhere in the word did God say, "Hey, if you're doing good, you're not gonna get, you're not gonna go through tests." We tend to think that, hey, if we doing good, reading the word, studying, you can be tied in whatever it is, whatever you doing, what God calls you to do, and that you should be protected at all times. Nothing should come your way because you're doing what God say He wants you to do. Wrong, wrong. No, It's coming. It's coming because that's the only way I could work some things out. That's okay, son, daughter, it's society. Okay, we got to work this out. This is the training session. This is how it goes. So, it's like, hey, why? That goes back to why it's happening to me. I ain't doing nothing. I'm doing good. So that mindset right there, it hinders us and it slows down the process. When we looking at self in the midst of trial and trouble versus focusing on Christ, keeping our head up high. Let me continue reading. Matthew 28, Matthew 15:28. He says, dear woman, Jesus said to her, your faith is great. Your request is granted. And her daughter was instantly healed. 29. Jesus healed many people. Jesus returned to the Sea of Galilee and climbed a hill and sat down. 30. And a vast crowd brought to him people who were lame, blind, crippled, those who couldn't speak, and many of others. They laid them before Jesus, and he healed them all. Notice that he always either casting out. Jesus. It seemed like Jesus do three things, yo. He either gonna cast out spirits, demons. He gonna tell them going pigs and get up out of people. Wouldn't it? He gonna feed people and he gonna heal people. Y'all notice that? Like three different
Mm,
things. Like he orchestrates that. Like that's his bread and butter. 31.
mm-hmm.
The crowd was amazed. Those who hadn't been able to speak were talking. The crippled were made well. The lame were walking, and the blind could see against. And they praised the God of Israel. 32. Jesus feeds 4,000. Mind you, how many people y'all think Jesus fed all together, y'all? I want to let this sit in right here, because on here he fed 4,000. Remember in the other chapter when he fed 5,000?
Mm-hmm. But it
So
was
my
more, right?
it was so it was. So that's 9,000 men, right? And then we
Mm-hmm.
have they said that's not including the kids and
The
the women.
women, right?
Give or take, if I'm a betting man, just saying, just as guesstimate myself, I would say about 12,000, maybe 10, 12. I could be wrong, y'all. I'm just saying. We know for sure it was 9,000 plus. You can imagine somebody fed 9,000 people,
Hmm.
9,000 plus people. He fed them. He did it twice. And these people,
Of
and the
a
Pharaoh,
one loaf of bread and three fish, huh?
well, it was five loaves in the first time, and then on this one, I think it's seven, four loaves, four or seven loaves. But you would think that you continuously see this guy doing it's like a continuous thing he's showing, right? And you would believe him. And they still didn't believe him. 32. Let me start reading. Then Jesus called the disciples and told them, I feel sorry for these people. They have been here with me for 3 days. There go that three again, y'all. 3 days, right? And they have nothing left to eat. I don't want to send them away hungry, or they will faint along the way. Then let me see, 32. Let me see how I want to look at King James. And the King James, it says, verse 32. Then Jesus called his disciples unto him and said, I have compassion on the multitude because they continue with me now 3 days and have nothing to eat. And I will not send them away fasting, lest they faint in the way. Like, so I just want to parallel the difference. In King James, they say fasting, right? You know, you don't eat. They say, oh, you're fasting, you're fasting. So I wanted to highlight that. 33, and from the NLT. The disciples replied, where will we get enough food here in the wilderness for such a huge crowd? 34, Jesus asked, how much bread do you have? They replied, seven loaves and a few small fish. So, 35, so Jesus told all the people to go sit down on the ground. 36, that's what he does every time, y'all. He's so perfect. Then he took the seven loaves and the fish and thanked God for them. He thing he did, he thanked God for them. He broke them into pieces. Broke them into pieces. He gave them to the disciples who distributed the food to the crowd. 37. They all ate as much as they wanted. Fat backs and all that, laying back like a big cat. They sat there, ate, feeling good. Ain't man, we could go walk wherever now. And we got some food to take with us. Man, we good afterwards. 37. They all ate as much as they wanted. afterward, the disciples picked up 7 large baskets of leftover food. So it's funny that in this one that they had leftovers, and the other one they did 38. There were 4,000 men who were fed that day, in addition to all the women and children. 39. Then Jesus sent the people home, and he got into a boat and crossed over to the region of Magadan. So we see that Christ is consistent in what he does. He's very, very consistent. Very, very consistent in that what he does. It's like he doesn't change. He'll make an adjustment, but he doesn't change. Like, and a good example of adjustment would be he paid 4,000 this time. He did it with 7 loads. You see what I'm saying? Like it's gonna be the same blueprint, but a different way that he did it, that he's on ahead and does it. And so God is adjustable, yo. You look at our lives, you think, man, God is adjustable. You know, you can ask God to not do, hey, to not for something not to happen, and it will not happen. Like you can literally ask him.
Yeah, I know that.
You can literally ask him that. You're like, man, what? It's a relationship base. So 16, and also a lot of times in that it has to be within this will too. Like, okay, son, okay, daughter. That can or that can't happen. We say a lot that he does that a lot in the Bible. Matthew 16. Okay, let me get the 16
Hey,
year old girl.
Mr. Terrell.
Hey, Pat, what's going on, brother? I ain't know you were going.
All right, yeah. I was just wondering, what do you think? He feeds the 4,000 after he feeds the 5,000, right?
Yeah.
So the disciples were there when he fed the 5,000. That's like us. And then a similar situation shows up, and nobody says, "Hey, what about the power of God?" It's
Mm.
like where's their head at? They just saw that not that long ago, and they're in the same situation, and they say, "Hey, let's send the people home." It's like, sometimes their mindset is not on what God can do.
Mm.
And so
Mm.
they're not asking for, they're just looking at the natural. They're not thinking of this is, what God can do in our lives.
Were
Sometimes,
these people Israelites? Is that Terrell?
Now there was the disciples
Oh, okay, disciples. Okay.
that was with them, and the group that followed them, the people followed along with Christ. Because when he would do stuff and preach and talk and all that, he had large crowds that followed him. But the two he asked the disciples like, "Hey, how much do we have?" And like Pat was saying, they just saw this. They just saw it, and it's
so,
like, man, they're looking at it from the natural eye. But you can continue, Patrick.
so he was like testing them, just like like you were saying earlier, he tests us, wants to see where our head is at, wants to see where we're leaning to, if we're trusting him or not.
Mm, mm. I'm glad you pointed that out because they literally was like, okay, what we gonna do? And it's like, did they asked the question, right? And like, did they not believe after they just saw before?
Or did they just forget?
Mm. But
He
a
And
did it
lot of
before, he could do
times,
it again.
Yeah.
Or they always want him to prove.
yeah,
That,
but a lot
that
of times in the Bible, Jesus was telling them, "You of little faith."
oh, there you go. There
Exactly.
you go.
So I
If we
think they
look at it
always
in the
want him
beginning,
to
it was
prove who
saying,
he is.
right, he was saying, "You of little faith," so many times because, and I mean, we haven't gotten there yet, but it's like they wanted a sign. Like, give me a sign that
Yes.
you are
Yeah.
who you are. Like, no, even though I'm seeing that you're healing this person, that person, I want to see a sign. I need more. That wasn't enough. And I think that's where he was saying you of little faith. Like I think he was getting,
Ooh,
angry.
wow.
That's powerful. That's powerful. What's up, Chef? That's powerful. That's
Yeah, Nadi
powerful
just
right
sat
there.
me down with that one. Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah, cause you're right. He always did say, "Yeah, little faith." I'm glad you brought that up, Pat. Ye of little faith, and it's like, okay, me doing this. I did this before. I did this last time. I did it the other time. I did it the ninth time. And it's like, would it? with them having that little faith, right? It's like they were babies, you know, they were babies. And it's funny that you say that because we'll see in the book of Acts, when we get there, that it was John and Peter. He said the name of Jesus when they was going to I think they was going to the synagogue. They was going to preach somewhere and the guy was healed, you know. Not, hey man, so it's like afterwards, and this after Christ, he was crucified or whatnot. But at this moment, yes, little faith. Even y'all can imagine that having little faith amongst the people that amongst Christ while you with him,
Hmm. Where
and
you
you're
would
one of the
think,
chosen one.
where you would think they'll be saying, "Oh, he gonna do it. We don't have to worry about it. He gonna do it. He gonna do it. He did it before. He gonna do it again."
Like that. Oh, you would think they would say that, right? That would,
Right. That's what I'm
and that
saying. You would think they would say that.
that probably would turn the whole. They probably would have had 500,000 on loaves of bread. Who knows, right? But that probably would have turned the matter into a whole different thing. It's like, man, turn into a whole different angle. But yeah, not trusting. And that goes back to what we were saying. How much do we trust God?
Hmm.
Like it's always more room to trust God. Like it's always, remember that, y'all. It's always a more room. You got more room. Now people are like, I don't have no more. No, you have more room to trust God. We all do. I know I do. To trust him. So we should open that up, open that door, more room to trust God. But it comes with endurance. Where you have to endure something. A lot of times it'll be something that we have to endure. And we have to sit it, wait on it. Like we saw the lady from the land of Canaan. She was waiting. She kept on pressing forward. And that's the funny thing. You find a lot that the people from other places, they tend, they gonna press like the Roman gods and things like that. Their faith was more stronger than the ones he came for. That's like, whoa, look at this. So, but yeah, the natural mind, stay focused on Christ, stay focused on Him. 16, verse 1. Leaders demand a miracle. Oh, that goes back to what he said. A miracle sign, like God was saying. One day the Pharisees and Sadducees came to test Jesus, demanded that he show them a miraculous sign from heaven to prove his authority. I don't know what's more miraculous, y'all. You just fed 4,000 people, then other 9,000 people, and you're healing people. I don't. It's like they was getting a high off that or something, Like I don't know if that like boost points or something. Or were they amazed at it. But they, like y'all said, they continue to want a sign. They want to see. They want to,
I
how much?
think. I think. Excuse me, T. I think it goes back to when he was saying, "You will not understand."
Mm,
He that has an ear, let him hear. He that has eyes, let him see it. And some people still don't get it. Some people
yeah.
just don't understand it. They don't comprehend.
Mm. That, and you know what? Know what that goes back to? That's why it's a marathon. Because if you notice, at that moment, let's say right now you may not understand it, but then you read some 5, 10 years later, or you experience something in life a little bit later, you say, now I get it.
Hmm.
Now I get it. And that's parallel to, hey, this is a marathon. This is not a microwave stuff. Verse 2. He replied, you know the saying, gray sky at night means fair weather tomorrow. Verse 3. And shall we read in Matthew chapter 16, and I'm on verse 3. Red sky in the morning means foul weather all day. You know how to interpret the weather signs in the sky, but you don't know how to interpret the signs of the time. Ooh. 4. Only an evil and adulterous generation will demand a miraculous sign. But the only sign I will give them is the sign of the prophet Jonah. You know what Jonah did? Jonah said, man, y'all better repent. Y'all better change your mind.
Hmm.
It's about to go down. He come and get rid of all this. And the people did. Then Jesus left them and went away. Verse 5. Later, after they crossed to the other side of the lake, the disciples discovered they had forgotten to bring any bread. 6. Watch out, Jesus warned them. Beware of the yeast of the Pharisees and the Sadducees.
Hmm.
And this goes back to what you just said a few minutes ago, but I'm talking about understanding. 7. As Disney
Mm-hmm.
began to argue with each other because they hadn't bought any bread. Bro, nobody ain't bring no bread. We ain't bring no bread. Look at this carnal thinking, yo. Look at this. Look at this. So they really flipping out because they don't have no bread. They fussing with each other. 8. Jesus knew what they were saying. So he said, I goes back to what Nadia said. Man, this, hold up, y'all. This faith thing is serious, y'all. Like this, as I'm reading this, it's like sticking out that it's literally levels of faith. Like we have levels of faith. Well, what level? Where are we with our faith? Do you want to increase your faith? Because the more faith you have, the less doubt you have in your heart. You know, the less fear you have. You have more faith. When faith increases, a lot of other things decrease. You know, they can't be in the same spot on the same level. It don't work like that.
Hmm.
He said, "You have so little faith. Why are you arguing with each other about having no bread?" Verse 9. Do you don't you understand even yet? Don't you remember the 5,000 I fed with the 5 loaves and the basket of leftovers you picked up? Then he going to say, verse 10, oh, the 4,000 I fed with 7 loaves and the large basket of leftovers you picked up? Oh my gosh. He laying into them. He laying, it's like chastising, like your mom or your daddy, like or your grandparents, somebody, one of your elders when not they let you have it. Verse 11. Why can't you understand that I'm not talking about bread? So again, I say, beware of the yeast of the Pharisees and Sadducees. I know they still was lost. Y'all think they still was lost? They still was lost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're like, oh, okay, he's serious. And all right, 12. Then that last, look at this. Look at how he applied pressure. And then that last they understood that he wasn't speaking about the yeast and the bread, but about the deceptive teaching of the Pharisees and Sadducees. Look at that. He applied pressure. Boy, you see what pressure does? Oh man, it just hit me. You know what that goes back to? You see what they're saying? Uh, Pressure
Pressure
bust
bust
pipe.
pipes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you see that when Christ applied pressure, they went on ahead. They recognized it. When we get pressure applied in our life, we always tend to come out better. It's lining up with everything you just were saying, y'all. Pressure is good. Pressure is good. It's like, and I look at that verse and I was laughing. I was like, bro, you know what that remind me of? That remind me of one time. Yogi, you on here?
I think
I
she's
think.
studying to her. I think she
All right.
went
So
put us
I
on
remember,
mute.
y'all, this is funny. So I remember one time, my sister when we were small, she went to summer school or whatnot, and so well not summer school, her school was all year round.
On
So
here.
okay, all right. So I'm about to tell a story about Mogan. I'm relating it to something. And so what happened was that hey, we woke up. She got to go. My dad got to bring her to school, right? Cool. And so she had the keys, letting on my dad wallet. So he was like, hey, come up here in the front. She go in the front, go in the head, right? Like, hey, where's my wallet? Where's my wallet? Same as, hey, Pharisee, hey, why are you worrying about the yeast and the bread? I'm gonna say, you talking about you didn't bring the bread. He asked her a question, hey, where's my wallet? Where's my wallet? And she's like, hey, I don't know. So he go on ahead, he applied pressure by giving her a whooping, right? So he gives her the whooping, right? And then after that, right? He continued to, she leaves the room, right? Tells her, hey, you're in trouble, X, Y, and Z, whatever. Then he tells her, hey, come back over that for round 2, right? So at this point, Yogi just breaks down, y'all. Like she just breaks down, pulling her hair. She just like, oh my God, the girl is crying, like literally her soul came out of her body, look like, right? My dad didn't play with her. So what happened was she going ahead and goes in the room, right? And as my dad is, she getting a whooping and he's applying pressure. You know what happened? She said, oh, I know where the wallet at. She remembered. She remembered where the wallet was at when pressure was applied. And when I read this, I thought about that. I said, wow, man, pressure is not always a bad thing because it's a tool to get you right. And I thought about my little sister and her whooping, but I thought that was funny. I thought that was funny. So pressure is a good thing. It gets us to really zone in and lock into what we need to. That's what it does. It really does. Well, then at last they understood that he wasn't speaking about the yeast and the bread, but about deceptive teachings of the Pharisees. 13. When Jesus came to the region of Caesarea Philippi, he asked his disciples, who do people say that the Son of Man is? Notice that he asked them a question, y'all. 14. Well, they replied, some say John the Baptist, some say Elijah, and others say Jeremiah or one of the other prophets. 15. Then he asked them, well, who do you say I am? Notice that. And you notice that some of them they believe, but a definitive answer. They're like, who do you say I am? Then old Simon, right? Old Simon, the little rowdy one. He said, 16. Simon Peter answered, you are the Messiah, Son of the living God. Oh, Jesus replied, oh, you are blessed, Simon, son of John, because my Father in heaven has revealed this to you. You did not learn this from any human being. Notice that. Spirits recognize spirits. You're gonna see it, y'all. Y'all will see the people. Oh, you will see. Like you, that goes back to what we're saying. You can't hide it. You know, you'll see people heart matter, and also you can see their spirits. You can see it. You know, people are like, oh, the energy off and all. You will see it. You can't hide it. But even though with Simon Peter, he was able to have, he was a disciple. He was right there with Christ doing that math. 18. Now I say to you that you are Peter, which means rock. And upon this rock I will build my church, and all the powers of hell will not conquer it. 19. And I will give you the keys of the kingdom of heaven. Whatever you forbid on earth will be forbidden in heaven. And whatever you permit on earth will be permitted in heaven. Ooh, that's power right there, y'all. I don't know. I saw that. I was like, ooh, this is a lot to have. Like, Christ, what are you saying?
Hmm.
This is a different level. This is a power. Because Simon Peter recognized who Christ was. He said, man, you the Christ. He recognized it. 20. Then he sternly warned the disciples not to tell anyone that he was the Messiah. And then so mind y'all, we see how Simon Peter identified Christ, right? But also
Mhm.
this. Watch what happened next. 21. From then on, Jesus began to tell his disciples plainly that it was necessary for him to go to Jerusalem and that he would suffer many terrible things at the hands of the elders. Look at the group, the elders, the leading priests, and the teachers of the religious law. So it say elders, leading priests, scribes, Pharisees, and Sadducees. That's 5 different groups of people that was against Christ. 5 different groups, all with the same mission. They didn't like Christ because he was disrupting everything. Let me see, at the hands of the elders, the leading priests, and the teachers of the religious law. He would be killed, but on the 3rd day he would be raised from the dead. Mind you, Christ is telling his disciples that. 22. But Peter took him aside. Notice what he did. Come on, Christ, let's go to the side right now. Let's go to the side. But Peter took him aside and began to reprimand him for saying such things. Heaven forbid. He said, this will never happen to you. Who else said that? Who else didn't want that to happen to him? The devil, the enemy.
Mhm.
Remember when he showed them all the gifts of the world? Like, say, bro, look, I'm gonna show you all the gifts of this kingdom or not. You don't gotta do that. You don't have to do that. And the same person, the same body, you see Christ recognize, well, you see Peter recognize, Peter recognized who Christ is, but then in the
Mhm.
same instant, we gonna see Christ say, "Get behind me, Satan."
Hmm.
22. But Peter took aside and began to reprimand him for saying such things. Heaven forbid, Lord. He said, this will never happen to you. 23. Jesus turned to Peter and said, get away from me, Satan. You are a dangerous trap to me. You are seeing things merely from a human point of view, not God's, not from God. Oh my God. we always tend to look at what we were saying in our point of view. Why this happening to me? Why this happening to me? What is God saying about it? Is it hard for us to consider what God think about it, knowing that He's the provider? Obviously, yes, because we always saying it. So
Hmm.
learning like, hey, keep focused on Him. Let me take me out of this. Let me stay focused on Him. Let me stay if I stay focused on Him, it all works out. If I don't, it's gonna hinder the process. Staying focused on Him, y'all. 24. Then Jesus said to His disciples, "If any of you wants to be my follower, you must give up your own cross. Ooh, give up your own way. Take up your cross and follow me. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. It's not about you, not about us. If you try to hang on to your own life, you will lose it. But if you give up your life for my sake, you will save it. And what do you benefit if you gain the whole world, but you lose your own soul? Let me read that in the King James. For what is a man, verse 26? For what is a man profit if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for it? So, oh my Lord, boy, people be selling their soul left and right.
Hmm.
And you try to hustle and bustle and work yourself, try to get everything, getting on these things and all that, and you don't have no rest. People live for years don't have no rest, y'all. You don't have no rest, you're exhausted. How does that benefit you? You gain everything, but you lost your soul. 26. No, I'm gonna read 26 and just flow into 20 because 20 is gonna be the end of it, y'all. And what do you benefit if you gain the whole world but lose your own soul? Is anything worth more than your soul? For the Son of Man will come, 27. For the Son of Man will come with his angels in the glory of his Father and will judge all people according to their deeds. 28. And I tell you the truth, some standing here right now will not die before they see the Son of Man coming in his kingdom. Well,
Hmm.
that's the end of chapter 16, y'all. I thought 16 was me was Christ was hitting on a lot of points. It's so funny that he was sticking on pointing out faith a whole lot too, you know. He was on faith a whole lot. So uh having that having that faith, it's always more room for us to grow with our faith and trust in him. So what y'all think? Anybody got anything to say? No? You good?
Well, T, I pray and I ask God to give me a little more faith. Give me more faith in Jesus. Like you said, I think we all can stand a little more faith.
Yeah. Because
You never have enough of it because there's always something gonna come along to tempt your faith. No matter
yeah.
how hard you pray, how you try, you still gonna have something to come along to tempt your
Yeah.
faith.
hmm It's always something. And I
Yeah.
look at it, I've learned to look at it as it's always something to get you better. You know, I be always saying, hey, we always looking to get better. I want to get better. Okay,
Mm.
well, you got to endure. You got to go through it. You ain't going to get better by staying up. You can get better by staying up, not going through it. So that's how I always look at it. But if no one has nothing else to say, we'll continue on Thursday. It's going to be what we got? What's it?
We're
We
going to
already 15,
17 and 18.
17 to 18 on Thursday, y'all. And we get this ball rolling. So, but if no one have nothing else to say, I'll lead us out in prayer. All right, I'll go. Our Father, which art in heaven, thank you for this day. Thank you for this moment for us to fellowship, read your word, chew on your word, and love on your character and understand your character more for who you are, Heavenly Father, because you love us so much. I ask that you continue to be with us throughout the rest of this week. Our family and friends, protect them and protect all areas of the world and places that we may go this week, that no harm or danger affects us or do anything to us, seen or unseen. For your word of your praise, and we just can't wait to fellowship with you on Thursday again. In Jesus' mighty name, amen.
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 All
Amen.
right, y'all. All right,
Amen.
y'all. Well, we
Amen.
on to the next week, y'all. We gonna get it on.
All right. Good night, y'all.
Night,
See
y'all. Thank
y'all
you.
next Thursday.
All right.
Thank you.
Y'all
Thank
be
you.
safe.